These riders racing at the front in front of their home crowd, who battled it out for victory. Zen Matani comes into this win as the championship leader. And he had a 7 of Ramadeepa running up and out in the second race. He got his boot stuck in his rear wheel. Thankfully, the Indonesian was all okay, but it was all about this trio at the front. Mitani, Ojiwara and Ikegami on the number 14 machine. This was race 2 on Sunday morning. Ikegami taking the lead into turn 1, and as it did in race 1, it came down to the last lap. That was Ikegami, incidentally, running wide down the hill, losing touch on Mitani and Ojiwara. But the number 14 didn't take long to bite back and get himself back into the lead group, the front two. That was Ojiwara trying up the inside down at the bottom of the Motegi, a popular passing manoeuvre, but Ikegami slowly but surely clawed his way back, pipped off Ojiwara, and then got a decent dose of slipstream on the run to the line, and the number 14 just pipped Mitani to the race time out. A debut win for the rookie in Japan. So that's how it unfolded then on Sunday a couple of weeks ago. As of course, to think about what went wrong, what went right, of course. And as we land in Thailand, the Buriram International Circuit, it really is all about one rider who can stop Zen Matani. Had a very slight match point in Japan, but it would have taken a miracle back at Matani's home race for him to win the title there. But it's a little bit easier this time around in Buriram, the Chang International Circuit. Zen Matani heads into race 1, 70 points ahead of Rishi Takehira, his compatriot, in second place. Ojiwara race 75 points clear of his nearest rival. He will be crowned the 2024 Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup champion. 15 laps coming up. Can Zen Matani claim the crown in race 1 to help him sleep a little bit easier tonight heading into race 2? But if he doesn't win it in race 1, then race 2 becomes a whole lot easier for him to win the title. But we will wait and see, of course. Exciting action coming up. Elliot York, myself, is joined by Connor Doherty. Connor, it's been a fascinating year, hasn't it, in 2024 in the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, and it all comes down to the last 4 races of the season. The question is, though, can anyone stop Mitani from claiming the crown?
Yeah, absolutely. A pleasure to be here with you, Elliot, and that is the question. Zen Matani has been absolutely sensational, but all of these riders have been so good this year, showing off their talent in the Asia Talent Cup, and I am thrilled to be here watching this race, the first match point, with you.
Yeah, it's going to be a belter. Ryota Ojiwara on pole position then, the Japanese rider on the number 16 machine, third in the championship. As I said, 80 points down on Mitani, so he's one of 2 riders, well, one of 3 recently. We're looking at one of 2 riders in this race. The Vates for Zen Matani in 2024. He's been a force to be reckoned with this season as Zen Matani, and he was in the podium fight last time we came to Thailand in 2023 too. So he didn't quite climb onto the podium in 2023, but in the lead group in both races, crashed in race 2. So Zen Matani does go well around here. So can Ojiwara potentially spoil the party, put the, not champagne because they're not old enough to drink champagne yet, but put the sparkling water for another night for Zen Matani and his crew? We'll wait and see. But Ojiwara, 3 podiums in a row, but you just feel, Connor, that just needs to get a victory under his belt, a second win of the season, especially at this stage of the season, to try and halt Matani's charge.
Yeah, there are three podium finishes in the last 3 races, although, Elliot, the order is first, second, third, the trend that Ogiwara would want, but in general he's been so impressive as well.
He certainly has, and on the outside of the front row is another Japanese rider, Japanese 1, 2, 3 in qualifying earlier on today. The first front row since Malaysia for Rishi Takehira, the right, second in the championship. 71 points down on Mitani, and Takehira got that lap in right at the end of the session. He was lingering down in P9, P10, P11 a lot of the session. Takehira has struggled a little bit through practice and qualifying this weekend, but it's a crucial lap time for Takehira to get onto the front row and be in with a shout of overtaking Mitani straight away and try and make Mitani's life a little bit more difficult. But for Takehira, after a disappointing Japanese GP, didn't set a lap for the top 5 finishes, but top 5s is not enough at this stage of the season for Takehira to try and beat Mitani to the crown. Only 1 podium in the last 5 for Takehira. So that's time to change if your name is Takehira on the number 9 machine.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen this kind of burgeoning rivalry between him and Mitani through from last year as well. He was behind Zen Mitani in the 2023 edition of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, although the difference then was just 13 points when that came to a conclusion. It's a bit bigger this time around.
It certainly is. So what can Takehira do then? It's a fascinating front three, the top three in the championship, starting from P1, P2 and P3 here in Thailand for race 1 and 2, albeit in a different order. Spearheading row 2 is Kianja Ramadipa on the 7 machine. As we saw last time out, a strange incident in race 2, got in the rear wheel. Thankfully it was all okay. A pretty nasty looking incident, but Ramadipa was able to continue. But it's 4 races now without a podium from the Indonesian. Didn't get the results he would have wanted on home turf either. So Ramin back to somewhat of his best here in 2024. It's his equal best qualifying position of the year, along with Qatar in race 1 of the season and race 2 of this season. So yeah, Ramadipa will be looking to mount a podium challenge here in Thailand to get his season back on track here. Looks like the title is all but lost for Ramadipa, but he needs to stand back on the podium and just rekindle that energy, that form we saw in the opening half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a rider that's often threatening those at the front, but as you say, he needs to take another step forward and try and break into that top 5.
Certainly so. And speaking of top 5, best qualifying since Malaysia is the lead home here on the grid. Kiatsak Singapong on the number 20. Thailand had a race winner here last year. Can Singapong do the same in front of his home crowd? He will be certainly hoping so. He's the rider highest in the standings without a podium so far, is Kiatsak Singapong. Relatively inexperienced, of course, but he'll be absolutely hoping, of course, to stand on the podium for the first time. No better place to do it than here at the Chang International Circuit. 4 P5s in 2024. He'll be hoping to change that. Top 5 will be a good result nonetheless, but Singapong really hoping for a podium. And Faris Hafai completing the second row of the grid on the number 19 machine. First time, incidentally. He's been off the front row since Malaysia earlier on in the season, but he hasn't had a podium. He has Hafai, so here's another rider who'll be desperate to climb back up onto the podium in race 1.
Yeah, absolutely. In practice and qualifying here, he was the fastest in FP1 with a 147.782, and if he can repeat that kind of performance, then he could well be with a chance of threatening the riders ahead of him.
Yeah, the number 9 Tony has been in the lead group throughout this season, hasn't quite managed to in 2024, but he's been there or thereabouts throughout the season. 1 minute to go then before we head on to the warm-up lap for these Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup riders. And Connor, here is your starting grid.
Yeah, absolutely. On row 1, Ogiwara, Mitani and Takehira, all 3 of them Japanese. On row 2, Ramadipa, Singapong and Hafi. On row 3, Dakawat and Henry. Behind them, on row 4, we have Ikegami, Schmidt and Chavan. Row 5, Tanachot, Takemoto and Russo. Row 6, Pramuntong, Zakwan and Vishwanath. Chidwirulchat and Nakib.
There is your starting grid then for race 1 here in Thailand. Tensions build. Are we going to see the 2024 Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup champion crowned here this afternoon in 15 laps time? The warm-up lap is now underway. I'm sure Zen Mitani on the number 2. He's a very cool, calm and collected character, but even the most of cool characters will be getting pretty nervous now. Speaking to a few guys down there, some of our colleagues, and he's saying he's been a little bit more quiet than usual this weekend, and understandably so, of course. A massive weekend for the number 2, but he's been brilliant throughout. So it feels like not when, Connor, but the riders such as Takehira and Ojiwara are going to make sure that it's going to be prolonged for as long as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to be capable of dealing with the pressure that is being put upon him now. The riders around him are not going to make it easy for him, but if he can live up to his name, Zen Mitani, and keep calm, keep collected, and get the job done, well, he's got an opportunity here.
He certainly has. Rishi Takehira on the number 9 machine as they come up the second of the back straights. Long straights, the kilometre-long run down into turn 3, through the kink at turn 2. Plenty of passing manoeuvres here at the Chang International Circuit. 4.5 kilometres in layout, and a beautiful ribbon of tarmac, as we said, one of the favourites on the calendar, and it all builds up to that turn 12, the right-hander. Heavy braking zone. It's come down to that last year in both races, and I feel like it's going to come down to that in these 2 races as well. coming up. Look out for Seiru Ikegami. He's out of position in terms of the championship and the speed we've seen from the young Japanese rider this year. He starts from P10. Didn't have an easy weekend so far as the rookie, and his first visit to watch out for the number 14 because he's been a threat throughout. Won for the first time last time out in Japan. Of course, there he is on the number 14. If he gets a good start and gets into the lead group, uses a bit of slipstream, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with then. As the riders pull up to the starting grid, as I say, 15 laps coming up around this Buriram International Circuit as Zenmatani pulls up to the middle of the front row. But here is your pole sitter on the number 16, Ryota Ojiwara. Missed out on a win in both races last time out. Finished a very, very close second and a very close third. He'll be hoping that it's P1 this time around. Here we go then, tensions rise on, and we are underway for race 1 here in Thailand, and it's a great start from pole position from the number 16 of Ojiwara. Mitani got a good launch from the middle of the front row as well. He slots into a comfortable second, Takahira into third. It's as you were on the front rows. We go through turn 1, all nice and clean so far, and now it's all about trying to get into the slipstream. Ojiwara has a good advantage, but Mitani's closing in quickly as we go through the kink of turn 2, down into turn 3 for the first time. Is Mitani going to try and take the lead for the first time? Yes, he is. Takahira's there too, but Mitani late on the brakes as we've seen so often in 24. The number 2 leads. The championship leader is at the front.
Well, Zenmatani did not leave it long before he made that move. Absolutely sensational stuff. It looked like Ogiwara did so well from the start, but when you're coming up against the class of a rider like Zenmatani, he's going to take full advantage of any opportunity you give him. He's done just that at the first corner.
He absolutely has a great start from Mitani. Got a good launch into turn 1 and then made the slipstream count. So here we go then into the infield. That's the number 12 of Ricky Henry running wide through turn 4. The fast left-hander at turn 4 before the infield section starts. Through turn 5 and 6 we go. The left-handers, then you flick it right through turn 7. Ojiwara showing a wheel up the inside. A difficult place to pass, but as we saw from the sprint, it's possible to pass through there though. But what they've got to do now, as Ojiwara is doing, is lock themselves onto the rear wheel of Mitani. They don't want to let the number 2 get into his rhythm nice and early and settle down and start to pull away in this race, as Ojiwara then climbs all over the rear wheel of his compatriot Zenmatani. Fast kink through 11, get a slingshot into 12. Mitani up the inside line. Ojiwara trying to hang it around the outside. That's not going to work this time around, but they're not letting Mitani go. But on lap 1, it is the number 2, the championship leader of Zenmatani, who leads the way.
Absolutely incredible from Mitani, but Ojiwara is doing exactly what he needs to be doing. Pressure on Mitani. He's getting as close as he can to that back wheel, making sure that Mitani knows he's there, take advantage of any opportunity that he can to try and fight his way back through to P1.
Certainly is, and is this the opportunity that he's been looking for? That's turn 2, not really a turn, but it is technically called turn 2. Ojiwara hanging it around the outside, contact there down at turn 3 then, between 2 of your top 3 in the title chase. It's going to be Mitani who holds the inside line. Ojiwara hanging it around the outside, but a little bit of argy-bargy so far. Ojiwara getting a little bit elbow back. Just calm down a little, boys, it's only lap 2. As Takahira then fancies a bit of slipstream as well.
Just look at what Ikegami's done already from P10 on the grid. He's fought his way up through the field into P4 and is very much in this battle for podium.
Yeah, Ikegami then, as I said, watch out for the number 14. He was out of position in terms of pace throughout this season from 10th on the grid, and he's up to P1 already on lap 2, so fantastic stuff from Ikegami, and in a blink of an eye Mitami's gone from P1 down to P5 I think it is now. Ojiwara just ahead of him on track, so the slipstream really coming into effect here in the Asia Talent Cup. Down the kilometre, back straight, up back the 700 to 800 metre straight into the infield section, and already we've got a lead group of 8-9 riders all in the battle here early doors. That's Farish Hafai on the number 19, Ramadeepa on the number 7 machine in P2 at this moment in time, but as we've seen so often this season, it's going to change lap by lap, corner by corner. Ramadeepa thought about it up the inside, Mitani thinks about it and gets the job done up the inside at turn 12 on the number 19 of Hafai, and it's Ikegami then leading the way, fastest lap of the race from the young Japanese rookie of 47.6. He's going to get quicker than that though.
Yeah, absolutely incredible fast lap from Ikegami there.
Here we go then, down the back straight through turn 1. And already he's lost the lead as Ikagami. This is exactly what we were expecting. Down the kilometre long back straight. Ramadipa then holding the inside line, but it's about to breast there. Takahiro late on the brakes up the inside of Ojiwara on the 16. Half fire around the inside. Matani's getting hung out to dry a little bit. Through turn 3 we go. And that's Singapong on the number 20 running wide. Did he get pushed out wide? That's going to be important for potential track limit. That's number 22 of Dakigang at the back of this group, the small group that are just breaking clear slightly, but that could change. Ramadipa then through turn 4, leads the way. Halfway though, up the inside, down at turn 5. Is now the Malaysian leading the way. This is going to change every single corner. Fantastic stuff in these opening couple of laps already. It's half-high from Ramadipa from Mikagami. That's Singapong on the number 20 diving up the inside. But the number 26 runs wide as well. So nearing the completion of another lap. Matani getting shuffled down the order a little bit here. Just got to keep calm, keep cool. His rivals aren't in the top sort of 5 or time. We're going to get live championship standings towards the end of the race as well. So you guys at home, as well as us in the commentary box, can keep track if Matani is going to win the championship. As things stand though, we won't concentrate on that now. 12 and 1 corner laps to go. Halfway then into turn 12 for the 3rd time. He will lead on to lap 4.
Yeah, absolutely, Elliot. And as you said, this is going to be chopping and changing all the time. I mean, we've seen so many different riders taking the lead already, and we've still got 12 to enjoy. As another rider takes the lead, Ramadipa.
Yeah, Ramadipa then now leading the way. Just to keep you up to date then on Matani, if he wins, no matter what happens behind him, he will be crowned champion. And Takahiro doesn't win, he'll be champion as well. And by my calculations, if he is 3rd and Takahiro or Ojiwara don't win, he will be crowned champion as well. But we will, of course, try and keep you up to date as things happen. And as you can see, as things are happening, it's getting very, very busy down there already. Ojiwara then takes the lead, but for how long for? Squeezes halfway onto the white strip of paint on the outside of the track. It's about 3-4 abreast into the ferociously quick turn 4. What a corner that is on this circuit. Pretty much full chat on these Honda 250 machines as Matani then climbs up 2nd place. There is your live championship. As things stand, Matani would be crowned champion due to the fact that he has a superior number of race wins. 75 points. Ojiwara could level if he won.